Hey guys, I'm Bubba,
This is Johnny.
and today we're going to be talking about new games and things that are on the horizon and things that we're playing.
And also how Xbox is crushing Sony right now.
All right, let's get into it.
Welcome to the 1000 Lines podcast, meeting at the intersection of gaming, life and memes, featuring Bubba of the Zoo, Johnny 1000 and Kirkestein.
All right, lots of new games. There's so many games I can't even get to them, man. Like there's so many new games out there. What's Bubba playing right now?
New games?
Yeah, like new, like or what are you looking forward to? Either just started new game or looking forward to.
So the newest game that I've played recently, I've played a decent amount of Valheim, and so at this point, I've actually kind of stopped playing it. They're kind of fixing bugs and they're releasing new things. I mean, it's this giant open world exploration kind of civilization building game, and they put more things in there than what they had ready. And so it's kind of cool because like they had this future in mind. It's like you go and you'll find a whole biome where there's not a single thing living in it because they haven't put the creatures, they haven't put the boss, but they clearly had like this stuff in mind, and it's really cool. Like I've spent a lot of time like exploring it. It's a small game, especially when you consider like Call of Duty. I literally have a hard drive dedicated to that game.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's 500 gigabytes of just Call of Duty and Overwatch.
Yeah.
They get this entire game like 1 gigabyte. It's crazy. The graphics, the lighting, it's really fun.
I'm a big Viking guy, and that intrigued me, but I never got invited to that server, so I didn't start.
As an Xbox player, you would have a hard time downloading it.
I've got a PC. We can figure that part out.
We can talk about that later. But yeah, so I played a little bit of that. Spellbreak, it's not a new game. It's been out for a while, but they set a new season drop where they're kind of going away from the battle royale and they're getting into like almost this like it's almost like a domination. Like it's like a 5v5 arena style thing where you're trying to take possession of different sections of the map.
Okay.
And the goal is to own 2 of those sections or 3 of those sections until you reach a certain point total.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat and interesting. Yeah. I've enjoyed. My son plays that nonstop.
Okay.
Like he's out here getting like solo wins in the battle royale stuff. I mean, so that's his game. So I've been playing a little bit of that. I'm dying for Halo.
Yeah.
Like I'm dying for this new. I don't know what the new Halo is going to be.
Yeah.
But like Halo is like the for a long time. I played Mario and then I played a little bit of GoldenEye and I played stuff like that.
Yeah, but Halo was
and
like OG. Like
Halo is like the game where it's like, man, I'm playing. My friends play games too.
Yeah.
Right. Like
yes.
like before that it was like I played games by myself in my room. That I didn't really realize that gaming was this like thing.
Yeah.
But then Halo is like all of my friends.
Well, for me, I'm a little bit older. So GoldenEye, I think, was the first.
A little bit is a generous term.
GoldenEye, I think, was the first true like that feeling came from me with GoldenEye first, but it was still like local and still
like
kind
your boys are in the house.
Correct. Like Halo was like, well, wait a minute, like this is legit kind of thing.
Like my friend down the street. Like
correct.
I played with my cousin in Colorado.
Yeah, and we did the whole thing where you can link in, like we land the Xboxes. Like I think we've talked about that before. Where like that was that first like online kind of multiplayer kind of that kind of made stuff real. Whoa, wait.
Halo was a big deal when I was in college.
Yeah.
So it was funny because the way that they linked the dorm floors, and I'm sure they've changed it now because I'm sure there's high insecurity risk with the way that the dorm was wired at the time. But essentially, the entire floor was a network.
Yes.
And so as long as we plugged in on, like if we plugged in the Xbox on that network.
Yeah.
We were all networked in, and so we were essentially running LANs in multiple different rooms.
Oh, wow.
We'd have like 16 different people
That's
on
good.
the floor.
We didn't get that deep, but that's pretty good.
I mean, there's one setting that works, and it's the college dorm room, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have so many great memories, and so
Yeah.
I'm excited for. I hope that this game is solid, right? The fact that they pulled back last year makes me hope that like
I think
they don't go cyberpunk on us.
Yeah, I think they've learned from this new generation, old generation. I think the cyberpunks. There's probably a few games they're trying to do both at the same time, and that like they figured out that ain't working. So I'm hoping that they put really almost all their resources, if not all of them, into into the Series X or yeah. I hope that's why they did that. I know when it first.
Did you ever play Cyberpunk? Did you get into that at all?
I haven't touched it. That's. I mean, for me, that's on my list. It's one of those on the list. I mean, I kind of honestly, I rotate right now pretty heavily Rocket League and Warzone. I'm really looking forward to Outriders. I haven't even played. I haven't had time. I downloaded it. Hadn't even had time to play it, but I've heard a lot of good things about Outriders. That's kind of I think my next.
No, Outriders is it's like a Destiny style game, isn't it?
From what I know, it's like Destiny and like the Division 2 kind of
okay.
that merged together style.
And you're still a Division 2 apologist, right?
Still, yeah. That's kind of what I've been running. I kind of got back into that. Division 2 is solid game as far as I'm concerned. Like there's the depth. It's simple, but yet it's very in depth, but yet it's not overwhelmingly like you can kind of play it how you want to play it, which I like. I don't like to be forced to like do things or forced to learn this whole new like mechanic. Like I like simplicity, but with the ability to play how I want to play it. And Division 2 nailed that in my mind. But yeah, I mean I'm big into Outriders is my next big thing. Believe it or not, I played a little bit of No Man's Sky. I went back and played a little bit of that. It's cool.
Good.
It's really cool.
I know when it released, it was like incomplete, but I mean, it's an ambitious game.
Correct. I can see where that thing could be just like crazy awesome. It's very consuming. And I just don't have time. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that.
That's me for so many things.
It feels like you just got to put hours and hours and hours into that. I don't want. There's a beauty in either the battle royale or like the Rocket League, but like just picking it up, playing for a half hour, and then being done.
It's hard to do that with any game at this point.
It is.
I mean,
it is.
I think I'm curious to know like what like the next like big game is because you had Fall Guys exploded for a few weeks last year, and with it being a brand new game that developed, Fall Guys right now is incredible. If you haven't played Fall Guys recently, Fall Guys is a cool game.
Okay.
But it had its window, and it had cheaters. It had a bunch. I mean, it was a brand new game. It wasn't ready for what hit it.
Sure.
And then you had Among Us that came out a little bit after that. And so I think that there's like an appetite for like a game like that where you don't have to be incredibly skilled. You don't have to you can see it on there with the friends.
Yeah.
There's like this group, gaming thing.
Yeah.
And maybe some of that was like COVID driven, right? But I'm curious how gaming developers can make a game to where it's simple enough that anybody can just hop in, having not played your game in months, and get on and have a blast with friends.
I think that's why you're seeing some of the chess. A lot of streamers playing chess and Monopoly, and because it's that just simple. It's more about like hanging out and less about like the game. But, another big one I've actually been playing is MLB The Show. Pretty cool. Not a huge baseball guy. Like I grew up playing baseball, but not a huge baseball guy in general. I played some older baseball games.
Now as an Xbox, as a lifelong Xbox user, this is the first time you've been able to play this game.
Correct. Which is kind of crazy because it's a Sony game.
That's been the baseball game for 15 years.
Yeah, and like it's on Xbox Game Pass is just ridiculous.
EA didn't even have a baseball game, did they? This was the only baseball game.
Correct.
If you were a professional baseball,
correct.
There was no Madden equivalent. You didn't have NBA Live. What a horrible game. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. I've played it enough. It's the cool thing is they have this like the show aspect with like NBA 2K did that really well, which is another one I kind of play with my son. But 2K, has this. You create a player and you go through the ranks and play college, and MLB has that. Pretty cool. That's kind of what I've been doing. It's good, but yeah, like to the point, like the whole reason I'm playing it, right? Game Pass is like completely ridiculous.
How is Microsoft making money right now? Like, not only do they take in Game Pass, not only do they take in the show, and they have an opportunity to make money hand over foot. It's like, hey, entire player base, there's a game that you can play.
Yeah.
And they don't just take it; they put it on Game Pass. It's like, hey, this service you're already paying for.
Well, Halo's going Game Pass.
Right. I mean,
all of the I think Microsoft right now is the. There's it's been for years. I've had every console probably existed since like Atari. Like I'm that dude, but like for the past few years they've dominated. Like Sony, and PlayStation's kind of they've led them in sales and all the numbers, all that.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft at this point they see an opportunity and they're like, screw it. We're going to lose money. We're going to build this thing.
So we agree that Microsoft is definitely losing money off the Game Pass, right? Like there's no way that they are.
I think they're treating it almost like a startup where there's a point, like a startup company, like you.
They're pre-2015 Tesla, right?
Correct. Like you spend a bunch of money, and because you see, and that's why investors invest, right? You not to get too deep, but you spend a bunch of money because there's a point where if your user, you get a user base, and if you get this thing established. From that point on, it is just you've hit gold, and it's just, you're just going to print money. So I think that's what they're doing. They're almost like creating, although it's not a new thing. Game Pass has been around a while, but in this current form, it's kind of new because they merged, merged live and all that stuff. But I think they're buying. Who'd they buy?
They bought Bethesda.
They bought Bethesda,
that's massive.
Yeah,
and they bought Bethesda, and they put all the games on Game Pass,
like free. I mean, I always say free; it's relative, but like it's free.
It's $15 a month.
Yeah, but like I was paying that anyway because I had live. Like I was kind of, it's like it's insane.
Yeah, they bought Bethesda.
All the new games are going on there.
They brought on the show. Every game
it's nuts.
That's owned by a Microsoft studio is coming to Game Pass.
It's nuts.
And they're putting all of those games, like if it's owned by a Microsoft studio, they're also putting those on the Game Pass for PC. Now some of the newer ones, Outriders is not,
Outriders is.
Not on PC.
Oh, PC. Sorry. Yes.
So,
sorry. It's on Xbox Game Pass.
It's on Xbox Game Pass, but not PC. MLB The Show is the same way.
Okay. I think eventually that'll get merged. That'll probably get merged.
But still, I mean, it's this massive thing. They're in talks to acquire Discord,
which I've heard actually today. I don't know the date thing, but today they might have pulled out like something happened. Today.
So sometime in the last few weeks.
Correct. Sometimes in the past few weeks or days that might not happen. But the fact that that was even a thing shows you what Microsoft's trying to do. I think xCloud that's been a thing for a while in beta, but that's now I think dropped.
That's good.
Yeah, you can play Xbox on your PC.
I played Rocket. I went to the mountains a few months ago.
Yeah,
and it was still very much in beta.
Yeah.
But I bought Game Pass specifically to see how viable is this.
Correct.
And I played Rocket League with very little problem.
It's a legit. Yeah, and I think like within the past few weeks, they released it like it's out now, like it's a thing now. So it's not even in beta anymore. I think. So that's pretty cool.
Maybe it was Forza.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's the fact that you can just do that is pretty cool.
Mobile's the future of gaming, anyways, right? I mean, maybe not like the future, but like mobile's where most people are playing games.
Correct.
And so if you can get an entire catalog of games into somebody's hands on their phone,
I mean, and that's essentially what they just did.
Yeah,
I mean, it's here now. Yeah. Like it's Stadia. Stadia tried to do that, but like it just isn't. No one's. It's too late. Like no one's gonna pick up that. No one's gonna do that. No one's gonna do that if they already got it.
What is it? Yeah, I mean, Google's already backed off Stadia.
Yeah, it's done. I think, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, it's still out, but they're not
it's still out. But I mean, they fired all of their developers. Like they shut down future plans. Like
correct.
Google. I think Google realized Microsoft won.
Correct.
They're
and the console thing. I almost feel like there's more Xboxes available right now than there has been PlayStations. I almost feel I'm hearing more people seeing Xboxes or like available or buying versus PlayStation.
Now is that because you have hawks that are buying up all the PlayStations and keeping them themselves, and people are buying Xboxes to sell them?
It could be, Kurt. Could be. It just feels like there's more out there. I don't know. I don't know if, the hardware. Honestly, I think this is the last generation of a physical console.
We said that last generation though.
No. The last generation was more the disc thing.
Why do you think that?
Because what we just said, the mobile aspect of it, the strength, like being tethered to a thing is like no longer like a thing. It's no longer cool.
It's not the most mainstream, but like there's a brand of gamer that a cell phone will never be enough, right? Like if you want to play a competitive shooter,
correct. Well,
you can't do that on a phone.
Correct, but I don't mean mobile as in mobile like phone mobile. I mean mobile as in like like streaming. I guess I should clarify streaming. So where you don't have it's not going through a device. You know what I mean? Like xCloud. Like I'm not like I don't have to have like I'm not buying a device. I'm buying Game Pass and I can just stream to mobile if I want. I can stream to my TV if I want. But it's not a console. I think this is the last physical console. I mean, think the shelf life of a console. How long did the last ones? 12 years?
It's like 7.
No.
It's like 7 or 8 years. Yes.
No, the last ones were like 12 years, right? Am I wrong?
I think it's like 7 or 8 years.
Okay, all right, 8 years. Still, 8 years in technology, where we are right now with internet speeds and 5G. I think it's happening. I think this is the last true console generation. Anyway,
it's interesting. I think I disagree.
Okay, and that's
I mean, but like I said, the last generation. I know that's everyone's like this is the last one, because Microsoft again, they were kind of ahead of the curve where they're like, hey, this isn't a gaming system.
Yeah,
it's a whole home console.
I don't think they weren't ready for that.
Yeah, they pushed things that we weren't ready for. I mean, they also tried to push
Kinect.
They also tried to push a discless future. They swung and missed on Kinect. They were wrong there.
Well, the discless future is real,
right?
But they were early.
They pushed
too
it
early.
Yeah,
they were too early. Yeah.
But I don't know. I genuinely don't think that. I think that there will always be an appetite for real-time gaming, unless fiber internet becomes massively more reliable. And I think we have governmental issues that I think are going to prevent this from being the last console.
Okay,
because
that's fair.
I don't think that we're going to have the widespread whatever. But I mean, none of this detracts from the fact that Microsoft is making moves right now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I mean, even if Sony is selling more consoles, what Microsoft is doing is taking over the gaming industry.
Oh, they see an opportunity and they're pulling out all the gun. They've put the pedal to the metal and they're swinging hard. And I mean, to me, it's working. I've always kind of been I got a PS4, PS3. I've owned them all. I've always been a Microsoft guy or an Xbox guy. But in my opinion, it's working. The chatter, the vibe on the internet, on Twitter, it's Microsoft is popping right now.
I'm worried about the Discord thing. I love Discord is one of my favorite apps.
Yeah.
What the audio quality of a Discord call is unrivaled.
But as a primarily console user, not being able to be in a chat with y'all that's ridiculous. I can't run the app.
Well, right, but that it's because Xbox. I mean, Xbox runs a risk of having a child that's able to they need to control their app, their ecosystem, right?
Agreed.
Which is probably why they're why they're looking to acquire Discord.
They need to. I mean,
But it worries me because Discord is so clean. There's no ads. There's not pushing anything to me. It just works. And I have bad experiences of large companies buying things that just work and making them not work as well as
like Epic. Like they're going to go corporate with it, right? With all their games, ads everywhere.
I'm not saying
like sponsored by
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I get it.
So I don't know. I think it'll be. We have a lot of really interesting times coming up, and I think that Microsoft is making a lot of moves.
Yep.